Devereaux!
I'm Mr. Devereaux.
What's that humming mean?
Beethoven's Fifth.
I never said I was more than I am.
Welcome everyone to episode 49 of Kiss Meets the Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
I'm Brent Young.
I'm Luke Neely.
Alright, so this week, not a whole lot going on in the Kiss camp, other than some of the, I guess, not so great news about Gene that's been happening lately. First he gets banned for life from Fox News, and now, with all this controversy going on with all these, harassment charges, now Gene's name's on that list, and, it's one of them things. It is what it is, but the Fox News thing, stupid. I mean, it's just... we know how Gene is. He's playful. Yeah, he can come off as brash sometimes, but he means well. And the thing I think he got reported for was tapping the people on the head with his book, which we all know he wasn't sitting there beating them across the head with it like a baseball bat. But all that, they're sensitive, so they run and tell human resources for that.
Well, from what I understand, he's been at Fox, promoting different things. He goes there a lot. So it's almost like, I'm sure that he runs into some of the same people. You'd think they would know him better than that.
Right. And, part of it is, it's publicity, I'm sure. I mean, new book just came out, still promoting the vault. So, now it's like extra pressure to promote two things now. And, what better way to get your name out more in the news? Like, not that he even really needs it, but he's always about promoting it one way or another, no matter what it takes. But the whole situation's just, I don't know, it's off the wall. And to ban him for life, I mean, come on, it's not like he punched somebody in the face or had a bomb threat or something crazy like that. It's like come
That'll
on.
be next.
Yeah. Okay, he made some jokes about Michael Jackson. Okay, that's probably a little untasteful. He's done that before with comments he's made, regarding suicide and all that stuff. And, it's Gene. I mean, that's pretty much partly what got him to where he's at now is, his notoriety and kind of, it's almost like people almost expect that from him. So, another little thing that came up was Paul was recently bashing Marilyn Manson on Twitter. From what I understand, right after Charles Manson died, Marilyn Manson released a cover of one of Charles Manson's songs. So then Paul immediately got on Twitter and gave his feelings about it pretty harshly and to the point. I have no problem with it. I mean, the way I see it, it's fair is fair. I mean, Manson sat there and called out Kiss not that long ago. Homophobic slurs, all that stuff about them. So, hey, all's fair.
Yeah. What I was saying with that post I'd seen with Gene was on Harry Connick Jr.'s show, which is also on a Fox network. I just Googled it, and apparently that's it says Kiss rock star Gene Simmons and Jill Connick's Cooking, which is on Harry TV, which is Harry Connick's show. It says 20 hours ago was the last post. Then the post right above that says 4 days ago. So I don't know if the filming was one time and then the actual airing was another. not sure. Apparently, that's not a live show, but I've never seen it. I don't even know anything about it.
I didn't either. I wonder if maybe they filmed it that same day when he was in the building doing all
Probably.
that stuff or something. I don't know. News to me.
I've seen him doing weather on there on that other show.
I did see that clip, and yeah, that was pretty uneventful, to be honest. But all the fun stuff happened. I wonder if any kind of video or like security footage or something might come out of what he did.
Well, speaking of which, you guys probably seen where they escorted what's his face off the Kiss cruise for being drunk.
Oh yeah, George Lopez.
Yeah, that was sort of funny.
Yeah, I never got the full story or saw video of it, but from what I understood, he was just being real obnoxious and interrupting the Q&A session and everything, like getting up on the stage. And
Well, I've seen a couple of pictures, and there was two pictures I seen. One, looked like he was sitting in a chair next to Tommy Thayer, and Tommy was looking down at the ground, sort of like with a smirk on his face, like he had just laughed or something.
Mhm.
And then the other picture was security. It looked like George Lopez was walking down the stairs, and they were behind him. So I didn't see any actual video, though.
Wow. I used to kind of like his stuff, but lately I have no respect for him. He's made some comments in the past about things that I don't agree with, and yeah, it's a whole other thing, but I just don't really care for him anymore anyway, so.
Supposedly he's they called him a super fan, a Kiss, super fan.
Right.
Which is probably why he was on the cruise, but
Yeah, he's just entitled is all he is. I mean, everybody on that ship's a Kiss super fan, but you don't see them jumping up on stage acting like an idiot, interrupting the Q&A and everything.
well, some people can handle their alcohol and some can't, so I'm assuming he's one that can't.
Yeah, he's a drunk, and again, because he's a celebrity, he thinks he can just get up and do what he wants, and it'll be okay, and all that stuff. And no, got thrown off. I wonder how they even did that. Like,
That's what I was getting ready to say. It's like, were they already like on port somewhere, or how they throw somebody, you literally throw them over? Yeah, what?
or they have to like call a little tugboat to come out in the middle of the ocean and grab.
Like, they can walk the plank and they poke him with the swords and stuff.
Put him on one of those, whatever those little boats attached, in case of emergency, and make him paddle his way back.
He might have had his own boat since he's entitled and everything.
Gave him a set of like Kiss paddles or something. There
They'll be
you
getting
go.
a bill in the mail for that, though.
Yeah, so that seems to be all the, I guess, current events with Kiss right now. Nothing huge again.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that that's all there is.
I know, because now that the cruise is over,
Well-
it's like,
Actually, I think it's today is the Kiss Army anniversary.
that. Yeah, I did see that. Today is the day in history when Bill Starkey and the others officially formed the Kiss Army. So
What was it? 42 years ago today, I think.
I believe so.
In
And-
Ontario, Indiana.
That, and it's probably an arguable point, but it really helped their career as well, because it started getting them radio airplay. It was getting attention at the time, and I mean, look what it became. I mean, that's
They even named their fan club that.
exactly. That's huge. So he's and Bill's usually at the Indie Expo every year. He just not as a announced guest. He's usually just there, and haven't had the chance to meet him yet. I was wanting to last year, and I didn't get around to it. He was too many people around him, and we were busy. And
I've said a couple words to him before, but not like an official, meeting or anything.
right, so maybe I have to try to change that this year for the Indie Expo.
Well, and Keith LaRue is almost always there too. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's always there running around because he's keeping tabs on things, and making sure it's running smooth. So I wanted to take a minute and regarding last week's episode, where we came up with those set lists, we asked everyone to let us know what yours would look like. So via the YouTube page and Facebook, we had 2 listeners gave us their versions of the set lists already. So I wanted to go ahead and just kind of share those real quick, and if we get any more, we'll probably share some more, next week or something. But starting with the Facebook page, shout out to Aaron Philpott. He lives over in, I believe, Australia, and he's been a pretty big supporter of the show, so we definitely appreciate that. And so his set list goes Deuce, Let Me Go Rock and Roll All Night, Shout It Out Loud, Baby Driver, Shock Me, Rip It Out, Radioactive, Move On, Tossin' and Turnin', Dirty Livin', Naked City, Killer, Fits Like a Glove, Under the Gun, Trial by Fire, No No No, Betrayed, Unholy, Hate, You Wanted the Best, All for the Glory, and then All for the Love of Rock and Roll for the last song.
Eric Singer fan then, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a pretty killer set list right there.
It is. Just like R3, I'm definitely going to listen to this one too. And I noticed he left out Killers, but that's okay. Still an awesome set list.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. And then, so Aaron, thanks again for leaving your set list. That's awesome. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to...
If you'd like to be on the show, you're welcome.
Exactly. We can make it work even though you're over in Australia. So
Somehow, I don't know how that would work, but yeah.
we're flexible with our time. We're able to stretch here and there. So it's not as much as I used to be able to stretch, but so then over on the YouTube channel, GG Aaron, another Aaron, I noticed he's pretty supportive of the show also. He's usually leaves comments on the shows, and again, appreciate that. So his set list is Let Me Know, Strange Ways, Ladies in Waiting, Sweet Pain, Baby Driver, Hooligan, Larger Than Life, Charisma, Naked City, again, Killer, Not for the Innocent, Burn Bitch Burn, Trial by Fire, Hell or High Water, Betrayed, Spit, Master and Slave, You Wanted the Best, All for the Glory, and Out of This World. And then, I guess at the very end, the extended Rock and Roll All Night live version to close it out. So
Nice.
also, we had a comment on last week's episode from Infamous Gamer. He said, "Nice video. Finally, some love for Prisoner of Love."
Yeah.
So you got a little shout out for that.
Yeah. And I almost picked the trade. Speaking of those other, it's funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, so awesome, man. Thanks again, both of you guys, for leaving your sets. I'm definitely going to listen to those as well. I just have to. So, like I say, if we get any more in, which we encourage, please keep sharing them. We'll share some more on the show. So,
What do you do? Make a Spotify playlist? Is that how you do that?
I just kind of write down or look at it on there and just go through the, like on the computer and just play them that way. I mean, I could do that because we did that a while back. Remember that? I did like a Spotify list for each one of ours and shared it. I mean, I could do something like that again. But then it got to where certain things weren't on there, so I had to
Right.
just sort of
Well, yeah, if you're doing obscure songs, especially, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what Kiss CDs are on there, but probably not all of them.
Because I want to say Sonic Boom wasn't on Spotify, or still isn't, which is probably all that, publishing rights, all that. But I think pretty much everything else was on there. So that was this week's show, everyone. 20 minutes in, and I'm already like, oh shit. What are we talking about? This is going to be one of them free-for-all episodes.
Well, yeah, because I think the past, 2 episodes, we've actually had a semi-topic, so...
Yeah. We've got a couple potential guests coming soon, so we're kind of looking towards that, I guess, already. So this is just kind of one of them whatever happened shows. A potpourri, if you will. Speaking of the book thing, I saw that the Kiss of Life Forever is getting really close to shipping. I guess they've already been printing copies and...
Now, isn't that a different cover than the original one? Because that one has Vinny on it.
Yeah, they used a Creatures image for the cover on this one.
It was a different one.
Yeah.
Let me get mine real quick. See what I can get
Yeah.
it.
A new image, and then, of course, it's updated with, wherever the last one left off up till... I'm not sure where it stops now, but it's pretty recent.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Barry Levine shots.
Yeah, so the new one has, you said it, because this one stops in 2001, I think. Yeah, it stops the last show on, I guess, Peter's last show.
And I'm pretty positive that it's supposed to pick up from there and pretty much go all the way up to, I don't know what point, but probably fairly recent, like maybe even the last tour.
Well, that'll be a lot, because
Oh, yeah.
how many years has that been? That's been... Yeah,
But, I mean, I could be wrong, and it might just be that same content with a different cover, just a reprint.
this one here says the last page is Kiss in the Gold Coast, Australia, April 13th, 2001. So I guess Eric Singer might have been with him at that point.
Yeah,
They're in Australia.
yeah, I believe he did do Australia, too.
Yeah, because it has a picture of him here.
Nice.
So that's where it leaves off right there.
Also, I noticed for Black Friday, Lydia Chris is having a sale for her book with the new print of that. You can get it for $30 either way, autographed or non-autographed. $30 on Black Friday.
Well, this is sort of off subject, but Vinegar Syndrome, they have 50% off of everything
Really?
for Black Friday. Yeah.
Wow. I just
And
got
then there's like some when you order it, whatever it is, you get 2 free mystery Blu-rays or something like that.
I got a message that said Plaid Room Records is doing 40% off all the used stuff on Black Friday, and that's pretty tempting.
So that's I wish I had some money.
I'm relatively sure I saw that Bio's record label is doing a 50% off Black Friday too
Nice.
on their entire inventory.
Nice.
That'd be a good opportunity to pick up a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I need to look at the record store Black Friday list again, because I don't recall anything that like stuck out this year. Like, oh, I gotta get that. But there might be a few things that if I actually go look in person at what's there, might see a few things. Oh, that'd be cool. But last year there was definitely a good handful at least of titles, but this year I'm not noticing anything like that that's got me like falling over in my chair or anything. I just wish.
By the way, this news article I'm reading seems to be saying that Kiss Alive Forever, it's just the same thing but with a new cover.
Oh, really?
Apparently, I think they put Vinny on it because it's for the Atlanta Expo. It's like an Atlanta special thing.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm fine with that because I've been wanting to have that book anyway, and if it's a more affordable version to get, and of course, with the different cover, it makes it, for the collectors. Oh, you got to get that one too. Just
It has a list here in the back of alphabetical order of all the acts that opened for Kiss.
wow.
And there's, I guess there's 375 that they've listed.
Speaking of that, I wanted to, I guess, take a minute. We forgot to mention, we lost Malcolm Young from AC/DC too, just recently. So, definitely sad to see. I know they opened for Kiss back in the day. He'll definitely be missed.
I think his last show with them was it 2010, 2012, something like that? His very last show.
I thought it was a little more recent than that, or maybe it was, but
yeah, I want to say it was 2012 because I'd seen a clip online that someone said that, but because I know that he didn't tour, he wasn't with them anymore when Axl was doing the vocals.
Right, yeah. So I remember the story of him leaving because he was sick and all that, and I remember hearing that he had dementia, and it's like, and their older brother, what was it, George? He passed away not too long ago either.
Yeah,
just a few months back, and so sucks. And
well, I was wondering, what was going to happen with AC/DC, so I started looking around, and I guess Axl and Angus is working on a AC/DC album.
I wonder if they'll bring Brian back because he's back.
Well, supposedly it's going to be with Axl, at least the album, and they were saying something that they never said anything about touring, but then they also said that all those shows with Axl was filmed, so there might be a live album and a live DVD for that.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
That is one thing about AC/DC. They put out a good amount of live DVDs and albums. Kiss is close, but I think AC/DC's probably put out a little more because their stuff I'll see in stores or something I didn't even know was out. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Well, I sort of have mixed feelings anyway when they had Axl do that. I mean, I know they had to finish the tour, and that was the whole point.
Right.
And they didn't have, much time probably to be selective. And Axl, of course, already knew what he was doing, and he's a big AC/DC fan. So I guess what I'd read is when Axl showed up for practice, he had a couple songs in mind that he wanted to do. I think one was Touch Too Much, and I don't remember what the other ones were. And Angus says, well, we've never done those before. We'd have to practice them. We've never done them. So I'm assuming they did some of those because I know they did like Riff Raff, and there was like some of the real early ones that Axl, they did with Axl that they had never done, or at least probably not since Bon Scott was with them.
Wow. Yeah, it was one thing when they kept going without Malcolm, like I already, it was like, oh, it's not the same there, but once Brian was gone, it was just like, whoa, I don't know.
Yeah, because Angus is the only original member now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because Cliff retired, and Phil Rudd's been in all that legal trouble, and it's weird, man. And it's kind of funny that Axl is the one that took over for Brian, and it's like, oh, I'm not sure, because all those years with Guns N' Roses, having all them different members, is like, oh, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
And now Axl's the one that's replacing somebody, and
Well, it says here in this Kiss Alive Forever that AC/DC did 5 shows with Kiss.
wow.
Which is odd. You'd think they did a lot more than that. My Siri just went off. It's like, okay. Yeah, only 5 shows. That's strange.
What year did they play with them? Was that when they were fairly new, or?
It doesn't have a year on here unless there's another list on here somewhere. Yeah, it doesn't have a year. It just has a list of bands and tells how many times they played with Kiss.
Hmm.
That's strange.
Looks like it was the Alive 2 tour.
Really?
Yeah, I would have said it was earlier than that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because AC/DC would have already been pretty big by then. 77. That would have been a hell of a tour then.
Yeah.
It says Guns N' Roses did one show with Kiss. It must have been on a festival, I'm assuming.
Wow. Yeah, I would have loved to seen the tour with Kiss and Rush. That would have just,
Oh, yeah.
man.
What was that, 74, 75?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that? 75, I think it was.
I was always hoping like maybe they would somehow do a tour together again, but
It's too late now.
yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen now.
I heard that Geddy Lee and, what's the guitarist's name?
Alex Lifeson.
I heard they were doing something together. They were calling it, I don't remember what the name of it now was. But,
Yeah, for Neil to just stop playing altogether, I don't see that really being likely. I could see him doing something, solo, like, putting out some sort of, because he does a lot of that other stuff on his own, like sort of tribal music and things like that. And I could see him doing something like that, but I just think he's done touring, at least for now. I mean,
well, I like Rush, and I didn't, like I've said before, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, back when I was in high school and stuff, I didn't like Rush. I didn't really know much about them, and the little bit that I heard, it took me a long time to really get into Rush, and, I like them and everything now, but, Geddy Lee's voice is not really there.
no, not as much, yeah.
I don't know, the last footage I seen, whatever it was.
Yeah, his voice has definitely, gotten deeper too over the years. But yeah, I was the same way when I was young. I could not stand Rush and bands like that, Yes, and all that. And my dad was an absolutely huge Rush fan, and so he was always listening to it or playing it on his 12-string and stuff. And he'd play like the intro to Fly By Night on the 12-string, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's stupid." And then, like, as I started getting older, and unfortunately, it was after he was gone, really, like, I really started getting into Rush, and it was just like, now I know, and I can't really share that with him now, and but I remember I had his copy of Moving Pictures at the time, and it had his ticket stub when he went to that show for the Moving Pictures tour. I was, that would have been so cool. Like, damn. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny. Like, as you get older, you kind of start appreciating things more.
A lot of bands that I felt like that, like with the Doors. I never used to like the Doors back then either, and now it's like, why did I not like them?
Yeah.
It's like your ears, I don't know, it's like your tastes change, but it's like a lot of the stuff that I liked back then, I still like.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I didn't like, why it was the other way around with some bands.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's awesome, because it's like all that stuff you liked, and now it's like you just keep piling on layers of more and more stuff. And
yeah, see the layers behind me?
Stacks and stacks. and there's some bands that I've never liked, and I still don't, like U2 and, a couple other bands like that. I've just, like, yeah, I might like a couple of their songs, but not, like, die hard. And I've just never been big fans of them.
I feel that way about Bruce Springsteen. I've tried to listen to his music, and I like you said, I like a couple songs, but it's just I think he's really overrated.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Bob Dylan, same way with him. Neil Young, I like some of his songs, but I'm not, huge on him. But yeah, it's just funny though. Like I say, bands like Rush and Yes, and I can't even think of some of the other ones right now. But
I like a lot of the prog rock, and probably I wouldn't have never liked that. When I was younger, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess it's because when we're younger, we just don't understand it and appreciate the the musical intricacies of it and timing and all that weird stuff. But
well, I was so into like 80s metal more than anything else, and then thrash a little bit later.
Yeah.
That anything that wasn't that, it's like, I ain't gonna listen to that. I just had like real closed-minded.
I was-
And I hate people like that, but I was the same way.
Yeah. I was always Kiss, Beatles, Van Halen, the Monkees, and like Quiet Riot were always like just about the only things I would listen to on a normal basis back then. And then, I had some 45s of songs I liked and all that, but it was always kind of that way for the longest time, and then, started, it probably helped once the internet got big and, you were able to start downloading music, and that probably really helped, start growing the collection and the knowledge of music, getting into newer stuff and being able to own things and all, stuff like that.
Yeah, I only had probably like a handful of records, and I had to just play them over and over and over because that's, there was no way for me to go get any more. I mean, like you said, no internet back 100 years ago. So I just had to listen to what I had, and unless it was on the radio or something, you couldn't, the thing is, I think about it now, it's like anything you can listen to anytime as much as you want. And then it's almost like if you wanted to hear a song, you might have heard it on the radio. It's like you would just have to wait to hear it again.
Yep.
You might hear it again, you might not, depending on what it was.
That's why we used to sit there for hours with a blank cassette recording songs off the radio, waiting for them to come on. And, you'd miss the intro and the end, so that's the way the radio was. But as long as you had the most of the song, it was like, finally.
Yeah, I only did that with probably Culture Club songs.
Yeah. And I
recorded and nothing else.
I remember going to the mall buying, cassette singles all the time, and then it became CD singles. That was the way to get the new songs then, without buying the whole album. And then,
well, I wasn't driving until I was 19, so I remember asking my dad, "Hey, will you take me to the mall and get this and that?" And he goes, "Why don't you just listen to it on the radio?" I said, "Well, what I'm wanting to buy, like Merciful Fate, is not on the radio." He just, he didn't understand that because why not just listen to the radio? Well, it didn't work like that.
Right on. And you used to have to literally, go get your music. Then, you couldn't just get on iTunes and download that song or whatever,
It's actually pretty strange to think of it like that now.
Honestly, I kind of miss that. It's just kind of.
Hey, we can always go back to that.
It's kind of the whole like part of going to the mall. It was always kind of that part of it, just going in those music stores. And
speaking of which, at the mall the other day, and I know I can't afford it at the mall because it's cheaper on Amazon, but that new Metallica Master of Puppets box set,
yeah,
I really want that, but I never even got the Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning box set. It's all on my Amazon wish list, and it's like, oh my God, it just kills me because it's like, what, I don't remember how much now.
They sell the actual remastered album separate if you just wanted that.
Yeah, well, I have the CD already, like just the original one. I've had it forever.
Yeah.
I have the original one on vinyl of Master of Puppets, the originals. But I seen they had the expanded. I think it's 2 CDs or 3 CDs. I think it's $19 at the mall, which is fine. But I want the box set because it's got like 10 CDs. It's got like a DVD, and there's vinyl in there, and like, oh my God, I really want that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to wait till tax time, but then.
Yeah.
Horror Hound and all that comes up around then. So it's like, what do you do, man?
Speaking of those festivals, the Days of the Dead Festival in Indianapolis, they announced Gene Simmons is going to be there. So that's a little related news there.
Who's Gene Simmons? That name sounds familiar.
Look it up on Fox News.
Is it Jumpin' Gene Simmons?
Yes, the haunted house. You always make me lose my train of thought.
Yeah, I do have people I work with too.
Well, like just the other day when was going into one of them record stores, it was me and two other buddies, and the guy that was there behind the counter, he's like, "Oh man, this kind of feels like the old days when a car full of guys would come in to grab the new metal cassette or something like that came out." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, if only it was still like that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, when's the last time a new metal cassette came out?
Right.
Probably Record Store Day. Metallica had that No Life to Leather.
That's true. But they've been doing that cassette store day thing now, and I guess there's maybe some metal that comes out on that. I don't even know, but and and I guess in a way you kind of still get that bit of a sense if you go to a record store, especially an independent one. You can kind of get that whole thing. The day a new album comes out, go in there, pick it up. Especially on vinyl now. But it's still not exactly the same. But you kind of get that same vibe in a way. As going to the mall back in the day and all that stuff.
I was thinking the other day, and I was having this conversation with Kat. I was thinking about it beforehand, like what was the first album I bought from certain bands, and some of those I could remember, and others is like I had no clue what the first thing was that I had, like from any band, you can think of. Of course, I know my first Kiss album. That was Kiss Alive. That's an easy one. But when it came to other bands like Iron Maiden and, I don't know, some of the other ones, it's like I really had to think about it. Some of them I come up with, and others is like, I just drawing a blank. And then you'd think that'd be something that I would remember because it's music related, because I don't remember anything else but music, really.
Oh, I agree, man. I couldn't tell you the first album I bought from whatever band either. Or I can't even hardly tell you the store I bought a certain album from, like even recently. It's like, I forget.
I mean, I remember the first Metallica I bought on vinyl, which was the first one I owned, period, was Ride the Lightning. I bought that at Camelot Music at Upper Valley Mall. I do remember that. But very few other ones I remember specifics on. I don't know why that stands out, but...
See, as far as Kiss, my dad, he already had... I know he had at least up to Alive. I'm not sure. I can't remember what he had after Alive. I remember he had like some of the solo albums, but basically I remember he started me out with the first album, and the whole thing with Hotter Than Hell, that I've talked about, getting that taken away, and so I remember, and I think we talked about this a while back, but I think like the first one that I actually bought myself was probably Hot in the Shade, that I can recall, and that was, I think it was on cassette at the time. And then Van Halen, I remember having 1984 on cassette, and I literally played it so much that the tape broke, and I was all upset and everything. And I remember having the first Van Halen on 8-track also. I remember listening to that all the time. I get yelled at for singing Running with the Devil. It's like,
You were in trouble like all the time, weren't you?
I guess I was. If I really think about it, I guess I was a pretty obnoxious little kid.
It was that devil's music.
He's singing about that devil up there again. Go take the record.
Did you ever have Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil? Did you go through that one too? Or
I don't think I ever got that until...
That was the first Motley Crue that I had. That was the first one.
No, I think I remember my cousin, because my cousin's older, and he was real big into the metal in the 80s, and so I might have heard it from him, like off and on, like stuff that he would play. I remember he'd always have all the new metal magazines, and he'd pull out the little insert posters, and for some reason he'd always cut the corners off to give it some weird look, and he'd hang them all over the place. There you go. Circus. Takes me right back.
Look what's on the back.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a Kiss article in here or not. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, there it is. That looks like it's from that uncensored video, the Animalize.
Yeah, it sort of does, don't it? Yeah, Gene's got the same thing going on there.
Yeah.
Or Eric doesn't get a shot.
Well, that's a different show there, what Gene's wearing. Good God, that hair.
It says Kiss resumes its crazed campaign with Asylum. And then it has, you remember this, it had the lyrics to some songs as Tears Are Falling on there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that magazine with that in it.
I don't remember where I got this at.
See, I mean, like, even with Kiss, it took me years for that album to grow on me where I really appreciate it. It's crazy. It's a crazy night.
Crazy.
And I remember my dad had a bunch of those. I think they were the Guitar Player or Guitar World magazines back then. And there was the one issue, I think it had the two dudes from Iron Maiden on it, if I remember right. And it had a Kiss article, and I used to just look at that all the time because it had, you know, pictures of the makeup and all that, like older shots. And I used to just sit and look at that thing over and over and over. And
This was a magazine that I always bought when it came out.
Oh, yeah, I used to.
Yeah, I used to really buy these like I guess, what were they, probably monthly, just like everything else.
Hit Parade or two, and
Yeah, this one has a Poison centerfold in it.
You have some creams, don't you?
Yeah, I got some somewhere. Yeah, I never really bought those at the time. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because now I wish I had all of them.
I know. Now that you look back on it, it's like, what the hell? What was I thinking?
Why did I not buy those?
I mean, like, the more recent stuff, like Revolver, I used to, like, religiously... I mean, I had a subscription, but then it just got to a certain point where I just didn't like it anymore because the way metal started changing. And
well, that's the way it was with me, too. I had a year subscription, and every issue that I got is just like it didn't have anything in it. This is another Metal Edge, but there's Kiss on the back.
Nice. Not to mention the issues got thinner too.
Yeah.
And then they still want to charge you almost $10 a issue.
Well, now that the magazine is a completely different format, it's like a square.
Oh, is it?
Instead of like a magazine shape, it's like a square, and it's real glossy on the outside.
Wow.
I haven't bought one in a long time, but I seen it the other day, and it's like, that don't even look like the same magazine.
I got a couple boxes full of a bunch of old Modern Drummer magazines. Those are cool. I think there's a couple with Peter in them and John Bonham tribute, stuff like that.
I used to be in this. I'm sure you've probably seen this a million times.
Oh, God, I miss that. Yeah. The cassettes, the albums, CDs.
This is Columbia House here, so yeah.
See, I remember hearing a few years ago that they were talking about bringing that back for the vinyl side of things.
I heard that too. I don't know what happened.
Apparently that's probably never going to happen now, but oh man, if it did.
It's a picture of Gene.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen that. Huh. White snake contest. Yeah, there was always a bunch of them contests in all them magazines.
Some of these pictures just kill me. It's just like, oh my God. Especially some of the bands that's lesser known. You know, they have like a one-page picture of them, and it's like, I don't know, they just didn't seem that goofy at the time, but then you look back at it, it's like, really?
Right,
like
right.
Paul Stanley.
Oh my God.
A nice color jacket there, isn't it?
Good Lord.
Who's that on the other? Was that Crew?
No, it was Wasp.
Oh. Yeah.
And then it has Gene in here producing Keel's album.
Nice. Oh God, that picture on the bottom corner from that movie.
That's funny.
What did we say that movie was again? So I don't think I've ever seen it.
Too Young to Die.
Too Young to Die.
Yeah, with it's got John Stamos in it, I think.
I think this is one of them Swedish fan magazines.
Nice.
Destroyer. Can't really read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of them too, right here. Is that the one you got?
Yep, same one.
That's funny.
There's an ad for that monster book.
We must have got that at the Kiss Expo or something.
I think we did.
It has good pictures in it.
It's not all that old because it's got a little thing about the Destroyer Resurrected in it.
Yeah.
October 2012.
So see, that looked like Monster era costume there on Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then this is real recent. Official magazine. I believe it was the... Was this the first issue? I want to say they gave us this with the Expo stuff last year.
This is a Cream magazine that I've been wanting forever, and when I finally found it, I about flipped.
Mott the Hoople. Does that have any Kiss in it, or you were just wanting it for the...
I don't know if I ever got... There was the one where Kiss took their makeup off.
Yeah.
I have the book that has that in it. It's the Cream, History of Cream. But I don't think I have the magazine. It's possible that I do, but I probably don't.
And of course, that recent Rolling Stone. Finally.
Oh yeah, here's a picture of... Here's a picture of Kiss in here. That picture.
Oh, wow. It's when they signed the contract, wasn't it?
Right. So that's Neil Bogart there. Is that Neil Bogart with him?
Yeah. And this gold mine. You notice what's odd about this? Because it says it's on the Dynasty Tour. But what do you notice about the picture?
They didn't. Were they wearing the capes and stuff during the Dynasty era?
No. That's the unmasked costume.
Yeah.
Rock Scene from February '79. It's got a thing with Ace in it.
Nice.
Rock Scene.
Oh yeah, here's a circus with it's got an interview with Ace and Peter.
I have this one.
Nice. Rock and roll. This is May 1977.
This one's 87.
It's got a Emerson, Lake and Palmer poster in it. 1977 poster. Here's an ovation. Bruce. Oh yeah, one of my favorites. The Cream special.
Oh yeah, I used to have that. I don't know what in the world I've done with it.
Alive
I
2
think
is
that-
coming.
I think that's the one I had.
Well, you know, sort of related here. I was just looking at some pictures. You know, there's that weird Dynasty era kind of jeweled version of that costume, and he's got that cape on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That must have been like sort of a temporary thing or something.
I want to say that that's the one that they used for photos, but I seen a picture. That picture I sent you, Eli, on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's drinking that juice out of that Mickey Mouse cup.
Yeah.
He's wearing the same costume, and he's got blood on the front of it. So obviously, and he's sweating and everything. So obviously, he's wore it in concert. But I was under the impression those were just for photos,
Right.
unless he had more than one.
Matter of fact, here's one right on the inside of this cover.
Oh, yeah. And he's wearing that cape there, too.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's
But
called-
here's it. I'm trying to get this picture I just found. It's got that that costume. Actually, it looks like there's a stage shot.
Creatures.
Kiss Exposed is what they're talking about in that article.
How about this? Kiss wants your opinion on their new look. Right in now.
Yeah, you better write in. So here we got Paul on one page and Vinny on the other. And Vinny Vincent Invasion.
Oh my
Wow.
God, look at that picture. Oh, here's that Phantom magazine. Heads up, flaming youth, hither cometh thy destiny.
Oh, jeez.
Photo special.
Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Oh my God, I've never seen that. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool. There's a poster. This is at Kiss magazine from 2005, but the poster is like a artwork of the Alive cover.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet. Might have to pull that out.
I have this. Hit parader.
Oh yeah.
Some of these ads in the back of these are hilarious. Like this one here, leather gloves, the metal warrior. That's funny. And then it has John Waite on the other
What the hell?
picture.
Remember this poster or magazine? It came with all these posters. It had like 16 posters out.
I think
This one?
Yeah, I think I got those posters out and hung them up at one
Yeah,
point.
I used to have them all hanging up when I lived with my parents. And then it sucked because they were two-sided, so it was like, you had to decide which side you wanted to show.
This Kiss caught in the act. It looks like, what, probably Animalized.
Yeah, that's Animal. He's wearing that halter top from Creatures. Oh yeah, this one's got a little Elder comic in it.
That's cool.
There's an ad for Night Flight. Has Kiss there in the picture.
Oh, that is cool. I'd like to have a scan of that.
They have that channel on Roku,
Do
but
they?
you got to pay for it. Yeah, Night Flight Plus, it's called.
I got two of these, but this one doesn't have the posters.
Posterless.
What's this? Oh.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
This is Creatures.
There you go. Meets the Phantom. Ooh, the Elder.
Elda.
Whoa.
And this is cool.
Yeah.
They have those at the Hall of Fame. Those lion things.
Nice.
I used to buy these all the time. Bases,
I've never heard of that.
really. It's this. Like a Bon Jovi poster, and then the other side is Vince Neil.
That's the side you hung up on.
Well, when-
It always happens.
you
There's
can
always,
pull back.
yeah, there's always one it's hard to fold.
Well, this has WrestleMania in here too.
What the hell? That's awesome. I don't even remember where all these posters came from. Must have got them at the expo. Oh, here's
One thing that you got a big box full of something. Was that posters or was that cassettes or something? I don't remember.
I think it was like had posters and then weird stuff like here's these weird some like 8x10s that someone took of the looks like a I want to say Asylum or Animalize.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna find them in the history book.
Oh, you know what? I just found my reunion tour book. It's on the very bottom of this box, laying flat.
And you were looking for that for how long?
Yeah.
Now you can sleep tonight.
Yeah, now I can look for Chuck, huh? Remember the Tongue magazine?
Oh yeah.
Hugh Hefner.
The old Hugh.
Brandon, here's the Phantom script.
Oh yeah. We need to be copying that and giving everybody a part to read. That would be cool.
Would.
Hi, Melissa. How'd you know my name? He's just showing off. And a little star power doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, this is wrong. Gene gives Paul an electronically voiced raspberry, and Paul shoots him a baleful, star-eyed look.
The hell?
And then he says, "It must be feeding time for the demon."
What in the world does that mean? Raspberry.
Yeah, there's like lines in here and stuff that weren't in the movie. That's why it's like there's got to be, deleted scenes. So it says like when they're looking at the talisman, they look almost magical. In a way, they are. Our lives haven't been the same since we got them. And then Gene says, "From an ancient white-bearded blind man." Melissa looks at Gene as though she suspects he might be putting her on. Peter says, "The demon speaks with a straight tongue." And then Paul says, "For a change." Gene sticks out his tongue, twisting it. And then Ace says, "Yeah, we just wound up a session at our studio and decided to rack up a little pinball near my place in Brooklyn." Peter says, "Then outside the arcade, this old dude suddenly zaps in from out of nowhere, moving fast." It's like this whole thing is like completely not in the movie.
Well, they probably edited that Brooklyn part out because they wanted them to think that they were all living together or something.
Yeah.
Because it appears that way, or someone did a review and they said that they, want them to think that they all live in the same house and that they weren't even really living there because, they didn't really say, but I'm assuming that place that they were staying at was at Magic Mountain or whatever the amusement park was. It doesn't really say that it is, but it doesn't say it isn't.
Right, or they rented the house.
Yeah.
And then Paul says he threw us the box and kept going. All he said was, and then Gene in the electronic voice says, "Heads up, flaming youth, hither cometh thy destiny." Peter says, "Huh?"
I want a shirt that says that.
Peter says, "We're still not sure what he meant exactly, but the talisman are real." Ace said, "That's for sure, Curly." And then all of a sudden it turns into Melissa, pretty mystical, and if you don't have them, Paul, without them, no powers. Peter, just ordinary human beings. And then Gene, not quite ordinary.
So they cut out that whole conversation.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And it would give so much more context to the movie, too.
Well, surely they had to film all that stuff, because then that way they could edit it the way they wanted it. They had a lot more material, so where is that stuff?
Right. There has to be the deleted scenes or, put out a director's cut edition with the whole thing, extended edition.
Well, that would be at Hanna-Barbera, right?
Probably. I want it to be like a 2-hour movie.
You think they still own the rights to that? Or over the years, how things get switched hands and everything?
That is true.
Because who was it that said something about when Casablanca was bought by Polygram, or I guess it was Mercury, I don't remember which. They said that they just got rid of a lot of stuff, they just threw it in the trash of certain, I don't know if it was like acetates or reel-to-reels or what it was.
Yeah, and I hope that's not the case with that. With Fan.
Right.
Man.
Well, it leads me to believe that it could be, because the video, the DVD that came out a few years ago of All In Halloween Special, they said at the very beginning of the video, there's a disclaimer that said this was the best quality they could find because the master tapes were lost.
Oh, God.
So, if that's the case with all that other, because, from the 70s, that's been a long time.
Right.
Be ashamed if all that stuff was all good.
Yeah, it definitely would. I would love to see the extended version.
How would someone go about trying to locate that stuff? Like if you're on a quest, as a KISS fan, to try to track down a certain piece of, whether it be memorabilia or video or something. Hey, there's two Genes. Gene and Screwdriver.
You'd probably have to contact the office, the studio, but I don't even know. You would think someone has tried that too, but what do they tell people when they call?
Well, see, KISS can do that themselves, Paul or Gene, but they don't care about the movie, so they would never even be interested.
That's what sucks, because if they would listen and put it out, I guarantee you it could probably happen at the drop of a hat. It's all it would take is for them to say go.
Yep.
Yeah, because maybe at this point, maybe not, but I was going to say they might be able to get the footage if it exists for, they might not have to pay that much to get it.
That's what I'm thinking. Hell, I wonder what it would cost to buy it.
Right.
Well, I just wonder if any KISS collectors out there has that, and they just, they don't, because there's some stuff that people just don't know about because they don't tell anyone. Wow. Well, that's sort of a if you could own one piece of like a KISS costume, like an authentic, original, stage-worn KISS costume, what would you like to have? Like a piece of it.
Like just a piece or the full costume?
Well, either or, I guess.
Like probably Gene's Creatures outfit, Eric's Creatures costume.
Yeah.
I'd like to have Ace's, like the top piece from the Dynasty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dynasty would be cool, I think.
I would love to have a collection of all the boots that they've worn. Just have them lined up along the wall or something.
Yeah.
Like every single version of boots.
You better start buying them.
Yeah.
Those don't even have to be like stage worn, known by KISS, but I know that would still be expensive because what all these guys that make them sell them for.
Right.
But that would be a dream.
I just wonder if, and we'll probably know this after the Atlanta Expo, if Vinny still has all that stuff that he wore.
That's a good question. Or did he sell it off?
I would think that Kiss has that because there's that, or at least they have some version of it because Eric's wearing a piece of it in the Rise to It video.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is very true. They probably do own it and probably have it in their, warehouse somewhere.
Well, since he didn't sign the contract, I wonder if that was like, it's like when you quit a job, here's the keys.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
Right.
they made him give all that back.
Right, because, whoever made their costumes, they probably owned it from scratch, as soon as they started making the costume.
Because
Yeah.
when he wore that makeup at that expo, he wasn't wearing a costume, was he?
No, I don't think he was. And then he wasn't even wearing the makeup right either at that expo.
We
Yeah.
had on the bandit makeup.
I hope to God he doesn't pull that again for the Atlanta thing. I hope now that he's
Hopefully he's wised up a little.
yeah, and on a clearer path and all that. So it's one thing if he had the okay to do it, but to just do it on his own, hopefully not.
Well, I wonder if he thought because he wasn't in Kiss that he could get away with it, or you know what I mean?
He probably did.
I mean, I can't see Ace trying to do that at a convention or something.
No.
So why would Vinny think that it was okay? I mean, I know Ace is like more because he's an original guy, but to me, if you're wearing a makeup design that you don't own, I mean, and that's the thing with the tribute bands, it's not the same thing because it's like if you are this guy, well, it's like Kiss, like Ace and Peter, they couldn't appear with the makeup, and they couldn't actually show their face without makeup for quite a while after they left Kiss.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
I mean, you notice Gene and Paul never do it either. They never show up when they're doing solo appearances. They never
Right.
show up in makeup or nothing either. And
But they did that. Paul did that in '78,
yeah,
which I just wonder because they haven't done that since. I don't think.
I think it's just because it's more sacred than that than to just casually throw it on.
Oh, plus they were still wearing the makeup, so he couldn't go anywhere without it.
That too.
So
But it was almost like now it's like I don't know. It's more sacred, so it would be kind of less meaningful, I guess, if you just met them and they're wearing the makeup and regular clothes, and then you see them on stage and it's kind of like I guess it wouldn't be the same, but I don't know. That's
that's the only band that kind of conversation even really exists with is Kiss. Because
yeah.
I mean, how many instances has there been with or without the makeup, and then the conversation? Well, the Rock Hall of Fame is, of course, the most notorious one.
Yeah. I don't even feel that way with a band like Slipknot, because it's kind of similar. They all have their masks and they change them, and it's kind of a, sort of that idea. But I don't look at it as like a sacred thing, or because they had no problem, showing their faces, not long after they got started. So it kind of already ruined the magic of it anyway.
Well, it's like that mask you have behind you there.
Oh, that Jason mask? Or
You should paint Kiss makeup on it.
I thought about doing that. Or this mask.
There you go. I'm surprised that doesn't have a wig built into it.
If only it did, huh? Well, I'm on the way to be a wrestler now, though. So
I see that.
there's my gimmick.
And wear that on your wrestling podcast. Well, that's something I was going to ask a minute ago. Is it seems like I'd heard that there was a Kiss cartoon, but we'd never seen it, like a Saturday morning cartoon series. The Monkees, or I know the Beatles had one. I don't know if the Monkees had one.
No, they just had that show again where they all lived together and.
But why didn't Kiss have one? I mean, as popular as they were in the '70s, you would have thought for sure they would have had a cartoon.
Yeah, you would think, but I guess they figured, with all the merchandise and then doing the movie was probably, maybe they were trying to do it different, and then it kind of blew up in their face in a way.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it wasn't really an official cartoon just of Kiss or a series, but with the Scooby-Doo thing, which was great. I would love to see something else, whether it's Scooby-Doo again or something, another thing that would go well with Kiss and that they could do it the right way and tastefully like that. I would love to see that. I would love to see a follow-up to Detroit Rock City or even Phantom, if it, just have other guys play Kiss if they got to. Just, something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they could do that. And whenever that documentary comes out, I'm still waiting. We've been waiting forever on that.
Yeah, it's like, what are we going to get first, the documentary or Kissology 4s?
It looked like either one, really.
I know. It's crazy. It's one of them things, man. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up then. Again, thanks to the guys that gave us their set list, and we'll share some more if we get any more left on the YouTube or Facebook, and we may have a couple guests coming up, waiting to clarify, get that lined up. Still trying to get Gino on here too. We were giving him crap about that on Sunday. So we'll get that coming up too. So yeah, everyone, I guess have a great Thanksgiving, and for all the record collectors, Black Friday record store days coming up, go out and grab some cool stuff. May have to try to do that myself. And order Lydia Chris's book if you don't have it. I'm going to try to remember to do that. It's
There's
on sale.
A lot of books that I'd like to get.
Yeah.
But that'd be one of them, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still in the middle of reading the one about Destroyer, and I've still got a couple other Kiss books sitting there I need to read too. So, but hey, it is what it is. So, anything else you guys wanted to mention real quick before we get out of here?
No, just I know that I'm just wanting to say that I'm going to not overeat. Well, I'm not going to overeat.
Yeah. Maybe we'll all still be in turkey comas by next Tuesday.
Well, my biggest problem is, I don't know if you've seen the picture on Facebook with the pumpkin pie, and it's like all whipped cream, and you just see like pumpkin pie in the middle. That's my biggest problem right there.
Yeah. Oh, God. Gonna get fatter.
You won't be able to fit into that spandex if you...
Oh, crap.
Yeah, exactly. Next week on the show, we'll be doing P90X or something to get all the Thanksgiving food off of us.
Yes.
All right, so as always, subscribe to the YouTube, keep liking the Facebook page, spread the word, and we'll see you guys next week.